There is a metaphysical principle that suggests nothing new will enter your life if you don't get rid of the old stuff lingering in your house and in your mind. Rowena List is a motivational speaker, trainer, and business development mentor who helps people become clutter-free inside and out. She is the founder of Getting It Together. It is my pleasure to welcome Rowena List to Studio 4 to tell us more.
Thank you, Fanny.
How did you get in the business of the decluttering business?
Well, it's a great story. I have been an entrepreneur for over 25 years, and I found that for a lot of entrepreneurs, they were missing leads and follow-up calls and losing papers, and I was helping them because I was a born natural organizer. And so I started helping my colleagues and friends that were self-employed as well, and it just has progressed into that.
Do you think neat is in the genes?
I think part of it can be, and then part of it can be learned for sure. But yes, I was born the neat freak.
You say in your company you clean out the outside and the inside, the inner you, and your surroundings.
This is correct, because if you start with your outer, which sometimes can be a bit easier than working from the inside, so you start with your outer, your physical appearance of your home and your office, your car, it starts to make you feel so much better on the inside. And then you can start to work from the inside if you've got some issues to work on.
You know, metaphysicians do say, if you don't clean out the physical clutter in your life, you don't allow space for new things to come into your life.
Yes, this is so correct, isn't it?
Well, we all want to shine in some way. So if there's not a man in your life, perhaps you better clean your closet out. Who knew?
Who knew?
Where do you start with someone who is a clutter bug?
I sit down with them and we do a consultation and we find out the area that's bugging them the most. And then we start with that area. And we set aside a block of time and we work specifically on that area doing the purging, which is the area that most people neglect. They go and they buy the Rubbermaids and they buy the organizing bins and this, that, and they think they're going to get organized, but they forget the crucial step of the actual purging. And so that's where I work with them to do that.
I hate purging. I like when I've purged, but I hate the act of purging. I put it off. I procrastinate.
Yes.
What do you do with someone like me?
Well, I'm going to say that you are like almost everybody else. Wouldn't you rather, I always say to my clients, wouldn't you rather just poke yourself in the eye with a pencil than start purging your papers and going through your old clothes? Or wouldn't you rather run the seawall or do anything than start purging? And so procrastination is a big thing that I do have to work with with my clients. And when they set that time aside, then they're committed because they want to move forward in their life. So they're sick and tired of being sick and tired and being stuck of where they're being stuck. And they want to move forward. And so that they've passed that procrastination period. And they're ready to move forward and hire somebody and get the job done. But most everybody else procrastinates, Fanny.
Good. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Some of us also work in certain places messy. We know we're messy, but we know everything is, and it makes us feel good to have stacks and creative things around us.
Yes, but the rule is if you can't find something in 20 seconds or less, you're considered disorganized. And so you might be wasting some precious time trying to find those things in amongst that clutter.
The paper chase.
The paper chase. And then you could be using that time for things that you really, really want to be doing, like spending time with your family or exercising or going for a meal with a friend, rather than trying to find things in that. And it clutters the mind too. That's the thing, right? Is that you might think that having everything around you is kind of like comfort food. It's your comfort zone. And people live with that fear factor. They think that if they get rid of that, what if? What if I can't find it? What if I really need it? What if I don't work on my project as well? But really, in essence, when they do finally get themselves organized, they realize that their mind is freer and that they have more time and that they can work on things more efficiently and effectively.
Well, now we have Google, don't you know? So we don't need 200 magazines in our basement. We can probably Google something to find the answer or look it up on the internet. But no, there's something about those glossy, beautiful magazines we don't want to throw out.
You know, Google has its place, but Google you can't take with you to the gym while you're on the bicycle, and Google you can't take with you when you're riding the Sky Train or waiting for an airplane or whatever the case may be. So magazines definitely do have a place, but once you've read the magazine, then it's time to pass it on to somebody else. Because if you're thinking that you're going to go back and at some day you're going to, go and reread those magazines, never ever happens. Plus, it's old news. And my company is all about moving people forward and being progressive. And so then if you think, okay, I might need that magazine for the recipe, that's when you can go Google it.
Do you suggest somebody bring in a pal when they want to purge the critic who will sit there and say, you will never wear that for the rest of your life. If you do, we won't be friends. Do you need that purging pal?
You do. You need a purging pal or you need a professional organizer. Because that's when we are not emotionally attached to the items. This is why people have so much challenge doing it themselves, is because they're emotionally attached to even this mug, for an example. It might be from their mother, or it might have been a wedding gift, or whatever the case may be. Everything has a story to that individual. And as a professional organizer, we come in and we don't have that emotional attachment. So we can say, well, Fanny, are you really using this mug? Do you love this mug, and do you really need to have 25 mugs?
Or that don't match.
That don't match, or have a chip in them or a crack or something like that.
But my grandmother gave me that mug, we say.
We say, yes. So take a picture of it, and then keep that picture of the mug and pass it on with love to somebody else that maybe really, really will use it.
Excellent.
And love it.
Life is not about things. All things in life are just things. It's not about things, it's about people. We know this. But many people are sentimental fools.
And there is a difference between sentimental clutter, shall we say, and actual clutter. So sentimental things, you may have a few of those items kept in your closet or on display. I feel that people should put them out so they can see them if they're really that sentimental and they really mean a lot to them. What happens is people feel that if they get rid of their sentimental clutter, that they're also getting rid of the person and they're getting rid of the memories. And that's not the case, because the person's always going to be in your heart and the memories are going to be in your head. So take a picture of it, save those pictures, and pass on the sentimental things, or keep a small portion of sentimental clutter.
Weed through the love letters. Well, you could keep all the love letters, couldn't you, if you had a system? You believe in systems, I'm sure.
I totally believe in systems. At the end of the day, or at the end of your life, who's going to take care of those things that are left behind? And do you want somebody else to read all those love letters?
Oh, that.
Yes.
I didn't think about that.
Uh-huh.
I better weed.
Yes. And plus, the thing about paper and magazines, it collects dust and musty. It starts to smell musty. And every home has its own smell, and when you go into your home, you don't smell that smell, but when an outsider comes in and starts to purge, they can start to smell the must and the dust and all the little mites and ticks that
Yes,
are there
exactly.
too.
When you work with a client, do you start in the drawers, in the big spaces?